Well, hello and welcome along once again to a little tutorial, or more of a show, of how to use exposure fusion. Now this is a part of the Panoramastudio4 Pro, and it's got all kinds of things in this exposure fusion. Some of it doesn't make sense what they're talking about, and other things it will do. So first of all, if we look at this exposure fusion, I assume you've already got to this point where from my previous videos you will know how to get to this point. If you don't, if you want to go to those videos and check out how to assemble a panorama, because this is what we've done. Now we're into the editing stage of the picture quality, we'll call it that. So the first thing is you've got exposure fusion, and in there are 4 sliders: divergence, weighting, highlight separations and shadow separations. Now if you look on the actual sliders, there is an actual description by the manufacturer of this software. If you look at this one: separate or equalize dark areas, small value equalize large values, separate between the images. Separate between the images. What does that all mean? I'm asking myself, and no doubt you will do. So the best thing to do is show by example. So we'll get a little bit of space here, move across, and we'll slide down the sliders and see what it's doing. And at first, you don't think it's doing a lot. And also, you also notice at the moment, the weighting I've just turned down has turned off shadow and separation. I'm sliding down divergence. And now the only one that's left is highlights and separation that would work. But what will it do on its own? Not a lot, I can hear you saying, because I can't see much difference between the top and the bottom of that slider in these positions. However, stick around, because it will all become apparent as to how strange exposure fusion is and what it does. So we'll bring up a few more sliders, weighting, we'll bring them all up, and you see all 4 sliders are now active. But again, you're saying, I don't see much difference going on with this image. If you look around this image, I'm going to stop there. If you look around this image, there doesn't seem to be a massive difference. Right, put both of the bottom sliders, highlight separation and shadow separation, to 100%. If you see that, the shadow separation, see how it slightly darkens? That is going to enable the divergence and weighting to work. And you'll see what we're talking about very shortly. If you look at the image now, can you see like a motley effect? Like the shadows are moving around on the top. See the divergence on the ceiling? Notice that? Where there's like a creeping in of shadows. This is known as the divergence. And what you're moving is, you're moving a tone across in a soft way. If you also look at the middle, you can see across there in the weighting now, you're moving in from left to right. So you're moving kind of a dark area across to a light area. So it's moving across the image. Yeah? So we'll just keep moving a little bit, and you can see it gradually fades across to the center and then moves out to the right hand side. Okay? So that's what those two do. But to see of any kind of real difference, you must have highlight separation and shadow separation full on, and then you'll be able to see what's going on. And then you would need to dial them back to where you get a nice picture to what you want. But really what this exposure fusion is, it's a very subtle way of moving the whole shadow base around the image of the actual pano. Now let's go over that again. It's a way of moving the shadow images around, and the weight of those images being balanced by shadow. Yeah? Takes a little bit to sink in, that, doesn't it? So it's in other words, you're moving very gradual dark tones into the image, if you will, and lighter tones. So there's no hard and fast rules, but the way to get it working is, as I showed you before, at the top we need to go to highlight separation and shadow separation 100% for you to see what the weight is doing and what the divergence is doing. Okay? And then you will then subtly pull back the highlight separation. And at the moment, I'm just showing you the difference between an image that we've done, that's without any fusion, put back on the fusion, and you'll see the difference. See the difference? So the darker area at the back became lighter. So it's all very much of a subtleness to your image exposures. It's not the same as doing contrast, highlights, midtones and shadows. Nothing like that. It's to do with balancing all of the panos together, all of the single images together in a way that it will become much more combined, a much subtler way of doing it. It's a fine tune, if you will. Okay, hope that helps you. I'll just turn off a few things there, noticing that the images have gone. So if you like this and you need more in a way of showing you around this program, please drop me a line, let me know. And until next time, I'll see you. And if you'd love to subscribe, I'd love that. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.